Hello. Time is very precious, right? हर घड़ी बदल रही है रूप जिंदगी, right? So this one regarding why this name sociology. Okay, so you know that, right? So in just brief, in 5 minutes we are discussing. Okay, so there are subjects like history. Okay, then there are subjects like, there are subjects like history, philosophy. Okay, then on the other side you have a subject like sociology. Okay, then similar to what you see, right? Maybe just imagine cardiology, some imagine, okay, in simple terms, like, then or zoology. In science subjects you generally see this word, okay, sociology. In science word subjects you see this word logy. Okay, so then why this word sociology? Okay, why not other word, maybe socio something else? Why this word sociology? Okay, the answer why this word sociology. Okay, so that is what we are trying to discuss now. We already discussed that in the previous one. As time went on, what happened? As time keeps on going, okay, advancing, the technology keeps increasing. So in Europe, Dark Ages, Renaissance, Enlightenment, modernity. Okay, this period was featured or characterized by growth in science. Okay, Isaac Newton. Okay, then Kepler, Galileo, all these scientists. Okay, then steam engine, James Watt, all these developments. Okay, now what happens when there is science or growth of science? They come up with concrete equations like Newton. Okay, F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Okay, F is equal to ma. Okay, if you simply talk about, maybe I'm just giving an example. Okay, I say simply what we do in school. Okay, maybe simple pendulum G is equal to 9.8. Okay, or refractoriness is equal to 1.73. The circle of the area of a circle is pi r square. I'm just giving you some examples. Okay, what happens in science when you have an equation? Okay, you can say that to everyone. This is equation for gravitation. Okay, F is equal to m, all these things like that. Okay, now or simply speaking, V is equal to U plus AT. Okay, V is equal to U plus AT, equations like this. Okay, but in what happens in social science subjects? Okay, if you talk about philosophy. Okay, when you talk about philosophy, if you go to philosophers like Aristotle. Okay, on one side Aristotle, telling in brief. Okay, or if you talk about Plato, if you talk to Aristotle, you tell him, if you ask Aristotle what is happiness or what is sadness, how can I handle my life, then he'll give some kind of an explanation. Okay, if you talk to Plato, he'll give another explanation. So if maybe someone would say what is happiness, being wealthy is happiness. Okay, then someone would say that it's not about wealth, it's about then mind, good family relationships, good friends, and all those things. Okay, so someone would say you can go behind money. Some philosopher would say no, you think about happiness, don't do too much. Okay, don't take too much stress. Okay, so from person to person there can be differences. But when you go to science, okay, F is equal to F is equal to this equation. Okay, F is equal to G m1 m2 by r square. Okay, simply speaking, now what happens is that if this is world map. Okay, and Europe, if you go to England, if you go to Spain, if you go to France, any laboratory in this countries will give the same result only. So they say that F is equal to ma, it is true everywhere, right? G is equal to 9.8, it is across. There are variations, maybe polar area, but I'm generally speaking, you do this experiment as school in Japan or in Australia or simply, okay, any country, you will get the same result. But for philosophy, these subjects, what happens is there are differences in opinion. Okay, so what happens now? Dark Ages, Renaissance, Enlightenment, modernity. We said about social changes in Europe. Okay, when this change happened, whatever we mentioned, okay, in previous lectures, sessions, okay, 5 minute series videos. Okay, so whatever we discussed here, Dark Ages, Renaissance, Enlightenment, modernity, or 5 minute series. Okay, that is why I'm telling it. Bit fast. Okay, so social changes in Europe. Okay, quest for answers. What we wanted to discuss. Okay, what we wanted a subject which can talk about society. So politics talks about state in power in conventional sense, economics about production in conventional sense. Okay, we want to have a subject, okay, which talks about society. Okay, society, and it should have some concrete principles, which can have some principles which can be applied across the globe. Okay, which is similar to science. That is why we have this word sociology. Okay, I hope you understood. And that is again connected with this father of the subject, Auguste Comte. Okay, and he want to make it as a positive science. Okay, we'll discuss in detail in the following lectures. Okay, and positive science, which those laws which can be applied everywhere. But he was impressed by what happened in Then what happened in science. Okay, so scientists give congruent equations, okay, congruent principles. Philosophers, social science people from social science, they have their own opinions, there are differences. So he was impressed by what was happening in development of science. Okay, again he understood that, right? So as we discussed earlier, as science keeps advancing, we have to plan accordingly. And he divided history, okay, into three: theology, then metaphysics, positivism, till 1300 AD. Okay, then 1300 to 1800 AD, metaphysics and positivism. So that means positive means scientific growth. Okay, so here this positive does not mean positive or negative, that not that charge, okay, positive or negative. Here positive means forming general laws which can be applied everywhere. Okay, rather than single thing which are known as normative laws, okay, which can be applied for different person. Positive laws means something similar to general sciences which can be applied, natural sciences which can be applied in a general level. Okay, so he was impressed by that. He want to bring those equations. Okay, he want to make sociology in such a way that to address issues of humanity. Okay, so that is why he named it as sociology. Okay, and so this is why the name sociology is actually came up. Okay, and when there were subjects like history and philosophy, okay, when there were names like that, we have the sociology similar to natural sciences. Okay, so this is how it happened. Okay, 5 minute series in detail we'll discuss once our program in detail in our course. Okay, thank you.